As I sit here in the safety of my bedroom, I can only think of the past days about what happened in Paris. Me and my wife decided to take a vacation and spend our second year wedding anniversary in Paris. Not thinking anything would happen, but that's the thing. You never know what's going to happen. We arrived in Paris on Friday morning. The bus ride to the city was crazy. Traffic everywhere, people everywhere. And you just get this feeling that there's just so much life, just so much energy going on. We spent most of the day Friday going around, visiting places, talking to people, visited a few restaurants, eating, and found our motel, checked in, and after a long day of going around, we decided to turn in early that night. It was about 8 o'clock when we finally made it back to our motel room. We were sitting, it was a little bit after 9 o'clock, we started hearing emergency vehicles all over the place. And, just not really thinking, we thought, okay, maybe this is something normal for Paris. But then, you never really think anything can happen. We went to bed that night, turned off our cell phones, had everything shut off, and I woke up the next morning, turned my cell phone on, and I had messages after messages after messages from friends asking me if I was okay. And it really freaked me out because we had no idea what was going on. We just didn't know. And then we turned the news on and we had heard what had happened. We immediately looked outside the window, and 24 hours earlier, the streets are so full of life, so full of traffic everywhere. You wouldn't imagine how bad traffic was. But that morning, there was no traffic, no people on the streets. It was like a ghost town. And you really got the feeling that something tragically had happened. And the longer the day went on, you could just see it in the people's faces, and you could see it in their eyes, and you just don't realize how many emotions that you go through whenever something like bad like this happens. Because after we found out what happened, everybody that had a rucksack, we thought, is that a bomb? Everybody that had a long jacket on, we thought, is there a bomb underneath the jacket? You went from thinking of people as normal people to being afraid of everybody. And we went to the Eiffel Tower, military all over the place, everywhere. Military, police, everywhere. You could tell that, the whole city was on edge. And the subway stations the day before were full. Barely could find a place to sit. The next day, 2 or 3 people in the subway station. It was just so unreal that how something like this brings a place to its knees, especially like Paris. This big city, larger than life city that just was brought to its knees. And we talked to people, and you could just hear it in their voices, and you could just hear and tell that they had suffered so much. And we was close. It was like a half a mile away from one of the bombings. And, you realize, hey, we walked by there earlier. If we was maybe a couple hours later of walking by there, that would have been us. And I'm from Hazard. And you don't think that something like this can happen, but it really can. And it really puts life into perspective on just how fragile life is. We went early to the airport on Sunday because we knew it would be a lot of security checkpoints. We was in the airport for maybe 6 hours waiting for our flight to leave. We decided to stay, not go through checkout lines so we could go outside and enjoy the sun. And we was sitting there just waiting for our flight, and the policewoman walked up to us and said, you need to go to the other end of the terminal. There's a bomb threat. And then you realize again, hey, I'm not in Paris, I'm at the airport, but then again, the threat is always there. It never really left. And we was just so nervous and so on edge. And after the bomb threat was cleared and everybody started coming back to a little normalcy, We was sitting enjoying a little lunch and had a woman sitting next to us, and the police walked up to her and told them, "Hey, can we see your passport?" First they spoke in French and then in English. She understood the English because she told them no. Well, that, you could just tell the seriousness on their face that they really needed this woman to cooperate. And when she said no, they immediately took her outside, questioned her for about 15 minutes, and then put her into a police car and drove away. We have no idea what was, what the deal is with her, but earlier we had heard her and her husband fighting in the lobby. It was just an argument, but then again you realize, hey, this is not the place, and it's not the time to do things like this, because this city has suffered such a great loss that everybody is on edge, and you just really need to take other people's feelings into consideration whenever you make moves and judgments and things that you do. And it wasn't until we got home last night that we finally calmed down some, and even this morning when I woke up and drank my coffee and was watching CNN, you just really never realize how lucky you are and how short life is, that, in just the blink of a moment, it all can be gone. And I'm sure that's what the people, and all these people at the concert, all the people at the restaurants, they had no idea none of this was going to happen. And it's just such sad story, You just must realize how important life is and how short it is. And please, if this message can touch anybody and make anybody realize that, just love everybody and treat everybody with respect, because you honestly don't know when it can be your last day. And please, please keep the people of Paris in your prayers. Bye.